This is gonna be fun. I gotta replace this. And it's under here. And this just spins. So I'm gonna have to take the whole strut off so I can get something on that to stop it from spinning. Boy, is that gonna be fun. Here's the problem. When I turn this, it turns the whole thing. And there's nothing for me to grab onto. I mean, in theory, I might be able to hook some vice grips on there, but I have a feeling it won't be strong enough. So we're gonna remove the entire strut to give me more leverage. All I gotta do is remove those top three and remove that. And as you can see, that's pretty much the only thing holding it in, and the spring is already not under tension anymore. So I'm gonna remove these two bolts, take the whole strut out, and putz with the nut from there. Put it back together, stick it back in, and sometimes you get lucky and you can unscrew it, no problem. Sometimes you don't get lucky and you're going to need a counter wrench on this side, because as you can see, on mine, the whole thing turns. So I'm going to have to put a wrench on here. Here are our nuts and bolts. I have three little ones. But from up here, they are 12mm. The two holding the strut assembly on are 17mm. Okay, nuts out, bolts out. At this point, you gotta, this is all part of the strut. Okay, it separates, the strut comes out, but the brake line's attached to it. You gotta remove this clip, just grab it in the back here with a pair of pliers. You wanna be careful at this point because, as you can see, this is gonna free float on the control arm, and you don't wanna go yanking your axle out. So, gently push that aside, pop out the brake line, and the whole strut should, in theory, come out. We're about to find out. There it is. That's the offending part that I gotta somehow figure out how to separate. You see in here, I'm pretty lucky. There's no rust or anything that I can see in here, although it looks like I got an undercoating in here. But I don't see a spot of rust anywhere. It looks really good, so at least my towers are good. Mental note, the spring is under compression. It came out so loose, I didn't think the spring was under compression, but it is compressed onto the entire assembly itself. Not by a lot of pressure, but enough to scare the living shit out of you when you take that top nut off, which we figured out. You need a 6mm Allen key in the nose, and then you turn it off. I was wondering what was pushing it up, and I found that out when I finally got it off, and then pling! So be careful, use the compressors. And don't lose the pieces. You need two of these washers. The nut, the shaft, usually the other thing on the manual is right there. It usually stays put. You need the rubber piece, the cap, and then your new ball bearing comes in the package. And the catch-22, the second washer that you need, is usually stuck in there. So now I've got to fish it out. And there you have it, a finished assembled strut mount. Now, my struts are hosed. I can pull them up and down my bare hands. So I stopped trying to get that washer out of the top of that, and I'll just use it without the washer, and I'll put another washer in there when I replace the struts. But that'll get me through inspection. Obviously, he didn't notice the struts.